Welcome to Roll, guys. I'm so glad that you're joining. So just set your rollers kind of off to the side and let's take our ball, whatever it is. It's going to be really fun. Destiny's going to have her squeaking around. Her dog's going to be all over it. So just take your ball, hands behind your back or arms crossed in front of you. Bring your ball underneath the arch of your right foot and then just kind of step your left leg back at a diagonal and just soften your toes. Just start with that. And then bend the right knee and lean into the ball and pull back away and start to explore all of the details in your arch with this movement. Keep your heel on the ground. If you have a super squishy ball, you might have the luxury of just like stepping all the way down into it with no balance issues. If your ball's a little bit firmer, you don't want to have your heel off the ground. You'll roll around too much on top of it. You'll end up tensing up your foot while you're doing that. So just keep your heel on the ground, or if you start to move toward the back of the arch, toward your heel, put your toes on the ground, something to contact the floor. When you start to work into the arch of your foot, you start to notice all of the details, right? So let the ball explore the inner line of your arch. Let it come out to the outer edge of your arch, all the way from the top to the bottom, and then straight up in the center. It's like you're drawing 3 or 4 lines vertically down the arch of your foot until you come to a spot that feels productive for you. It could be anywhere in that line. Let's lean into it and just stay a minute. Inhale, exhale, let the ball absorb, and start to sway your toes from side to side. These sways can be big, they can be small. You don't have to fan all the way across the foot. You might just be focusing on one small area. Take a breath. When you exhale, relax your toes over the back of this ball, trying not to hold them up and hold tension in the arch of the foot. It's hard to combat foot chilliness, but in terms of rolling, this is probably one of the only things that we can do to do that. Search around again and just span the entire arch of your foot. And then when you're ready, if you haven't already, take your toes into the ground. Bring that ball right to the back of the arch, right where it meets your heel, and just kind of reverse gas pedal down at the edge of the heel in your plantar fascia. And if this feels like really firm and brittle and painful, then we might have some deeper work to do in your calf. Try to get this plantar fascia a little happier. Take a moment to now rinse through. Just sort of light brushing friction on the bottom of your foot with this ball. Keep your left leg buoyant to help you kind of brush through it. And then release the ball. Take your feet on the ground. Spread your toes out and bend your knees. And then just push the right foot into the ground and push the left foot into the ground and go back and forth. And see if you can feel a little bit of a difference from how one foot is connected to the floor to the other. I just want to stand on my right foot now. Roll the top of the foot into the ground on that right side and then the left, just opening up the ankle. Shake it out and let's do the other arch. Set the left leg out toward the diagonal. Find the arch of your foot and just start to bend your left knee, leaning forward into the pressure. Use this movement to search all around the arch of your foot, just noticing how detailed it really is down here in such a small area. There's so many opportunities to work through. And let the ball travel across the top of the arch, down the outer edge, down the inner edge, straight down the middle. And then as you're going along this whole area, let's see if we can hone in on one spot. With your heel on the ground or your toes, if you're down at the bottom of your arch, fan your toes from side to side. Settle in on one place and just take a nice big breath. And as you exhale, imagine absorbing the pressure. Good. Search around again. The thing about the feet is that they're so complex that the longer you explore the muscles within this arch, the more you'll find. If you're ready for it, let's take that ball to the back of our arch, right in front of our heel. Step your feet into the ground and reverse gas pedal, pressing into your heel, kind of just exploring that ledge of fascia right in front of your heel. This attachment site can be the origin of a lot of discomfort in the foot, a lot of rigidity and tightness in the bottom of the foot. So go easy if it feels really sensational. And find a spot and take a nice big breath. Exhale, just imagine the foot softening and opening to the pressure. Good. Well done, guys. And then just start to search around again. One more time. Maybe coming back to any one spot that felt like it needed just a little more attention. And then when you're ready, and you might not be for another 15 minutes or so, that's fine. Take your feet side by side on the ground and shake them out. Push your left foot into the ground. Push your right foot into the ground. Go side to side. My hope is that you feel a little bit more suction cupped on each side to the ground. And then let's take a breath in up to the sky. Root down through your feet, but expand through your hands. And exhale, dive forward. Walk your hands down your legs until you naturally stop because of your hamstring mobility. And then let your head soften down toward the ground. Shake out the back of your neck. You might pedal through your knees here if that feels good to you. Find your favorite roller. Maybe you're talented enough to stay in your forward fold while you do that. And then bring your hands to the other side of your roller. Let's step back into a down dog over our roller. Send your hips back. Press your chest down toward the roller as you push the ground forward and soften your neck. And then step your feet together and extend your right leg to the sky. Let your hips open out. Rotate through that right ankle. Bend your right knee and bring it forward. Set your shin on top of the roller. And then step your left foot all the way back so that your hips drop on top of your heel. Start to walk your hands forward and drag the roller down your right shin, over and across your right ankle joint, and all the way back up to the base of your knee. You want to shift yourself far enough over to the right, and it's not very much, to be on the right tibialis muscle. It's this meaty shin muscle right next to your shin bone. If you're rolling on top of the bone, then you want to be shifted a little bit farther over to the right. When you glide backward, the temptation is to lift the hips. Keep yourself creeping along the floor instead, nice and heavy, using your limbs to help you walk there. And then let's find a spot in this tibialis muscle, something to hang out on top of. You might start to flex your right foot, point your right foot, rotate the right ankle while you're pinning down the tissues. You might wave your right knee from side to side. As you work through one spot and the sensation subsides, find another where you can do the same thing. And start to steamroll back through that whole line from top to bottom, nice and slow, combing through that meaty shin. Good. And then take the roller about mid-shin and shift your hips off to the right. Set your right hip down, grab onto your roller, and slide the left knee up to hug the back of the roller. Extend the right leg forward and start to flex and point and rotate your right ankle as the roller's hooked on your hamstring. And extend your spine high and shift forward with a nice flat back. See if you can feel the stretch increase in your hamstring. Pointing your toes is probably going to be a little easier than flexing them, but try to pick a spot somewhere between flexing and pointing that feels comfortable for you. And then rotate your toes and your chest over your leg toward the right. Drop your head. Take a nice big breath into this deep hamstring stretch. Exhale, dive a little deeper in. And then rotate your toes and your chest all the way over to the left and do the same thing. Just exploring what it feels like to pin down the hamstring and stretch it. Good. You might feel free to glide up and down the hamstring while you're working through it, or maybe just staying still into a nice deep stretch feels best for you. If you want like ultimate mobility, flexibility work, bring your hands onto the floor in front of you and extend the left leg back behind you, coming into like a version of a supported split. Could very easily not be your thing today. Start to finish up. And then the firm roller might feel a little too firm for this next move, so feel free to switch it out. Take your right hand on the roller, bring your hands on the roller, and then step your left foot all the way over your right leg. Walk your hands up the floor and find your way onto the side of your thigh. So think about making one straight line from your head all the way out through your left toes so that you're not folding forward or arcing back. And start to drag the roller. Yeah, really popular time for a soft roller. All the way down your IT band and back up the side of your thigh. Feel free to turn your toes toward the ground, find different angles. Turn your toes up toward the sky. Gliding around the IT band is like a very sensational thing to do. Often perceived as a really tender place. If you need to take a moment to like slide a towel in between you and your firm roller or switch into a soft roller, be my guest. Let's find a spot. We're not going to stay here for too long. But let's find some integrity here. Inhale, exhale, and just relax all the tension around your right kneecap that you might be holding on to. Maybe with your foot on the ground, you slide your knee bent and slide your leg back straight. Start to add some movement again, gliding down and up. That's always such a tough place to be. Finding your angles are totally imperative to the success of that roll, right? You might be a little bit more on your quadriceps or a little bit more on your hamstring, wherever the tension is showing up in your own body. And then let's get off of our shoulders by gliding that roller down into the knee or onto the knee and rolling onto our backside. Take the roller underneath your knees. We're just going to take a deep back stretch. Flex your toes as deeply as you can towards you and keep that flex as you connect your chin to your chest. Bring the top of your head down in between your knees and just hang yourself as heavily as you can. This is a stretch if you keep your feet flexed for the entire back line of your fascia. So you might feel this stretch coming more into your calves or your hamstrings or your low back or the back of your neck. Maybe you feel a little bit of all of that. It's going to come into the place that is the tightest first. If you want a little bit more in this stretch, clasp your hands together, bring them behind the base of your skull, and let your arms weigh you a little heavier. The key is to relax here as much as you can. Let yourself curl really deep in on yourself like a snail shell, and then take a big breath into the back of your body, into the back of your ribs. Exhale to hang heavier. Get deeper. Relax your toes. Release your hands if they're clasped. And roll yourself up. And then bring that roller right to the top half of your calves. Let's chop our calves into two halves. We're at the top half. Lean back into your hands and cross your left foot on top of your right foot. And then start to bend and straighten your legs. You're not trying to span the whole calf. So your bend and straighten is pretty subtle. If you have a slippery floor below you, then you can have the advantage of, as you bend your knees, sliding back against your ground, gliding through the whole calf. And as you straighten your legs, gliding forward through the whole calf. If you don't have a slippery floor, don't even attempt it. Just take the top half of your calf, bend and straighten to roll through it. You can even do this lying all the way down on your back for maximum release and relaxation. And start to play with turning your toes out in one direction and in the other direction. And maybe settling under a spot that feels tender, sensitive, like there's some opportunity for release there. Start to flex and point and rotate your ankle. Take that roller and slide it down to the bottom half of your calf. Focusing now a little bit more on the Achilles tendon. Bend your knees to take the roller down towards your heel and then straighten your legs to take that roller up to the middle of the calf. And just explore here, turning your toes in, glide through the inner edge of the Achilles, turning your toes out, gliding through the outer edge. Find a spot. somewhere in this place that feels like a significant one for your body. And then maybe you rotate the ankle again. Pendulum swing the toes from side to side. Create more pressure by pressing the left leg deeper down into the right leg. Good. And then if you're lying down or if you're upright, doesn't matter, turn onto your side with the right leg below you. Come up onto your elbow and just kick that roller forward a little bit. So as you stack your knees and your ankles on top of each other, you're making sort of a 90-degree angle in front of you. Start to straighten and bend your knees. Again, pressing your weight down into your bottom leg with your top leg, gliding the roller along the outer edge of your lower leg now, along these peroneal muscles, right where the seam of your pants might be. Find a spot somewhere in those peroneals. And then you can pendulum swing the toes from side to side again. Maybe that feels important to you. Maybe kind of mermaid tail your toes back and forth just to increase the blood flow and to break up the fascia on the side of your ankle. These are your ankle stabilizing muscles. So anything that you do in these muscles are going to bring a little bit more mobility to your lower leg and ankle. Good. When you're ready, bend your knees. Let your ankles just kind of rest on the roller. Take your left foot in front of your right and turn to face the ground. Use your hands. Curl your toes. Press yourself into your down dog over your roller. Push the floor forward. Send your hips backward and drop your head. Shake out the back of that neck. Heel toe your feet in toward each other. And then in this down dog, let's just think about draining our heels down into the ground. Bend your right knee and send your left heel deeper down into the ground. Bend your left knee, send your right heel deeper down into the ground. Extend the left leg to the sky. Rotate through your ankle, bend your knee, and then bring it forward and set your shin on top of the roller. Step your right foot back so that your hips lower right above your heel. And then start to drag yourself forward and backward. Shift your weight just slightly toward the left so that you're gliding up and down that tibialis anterior muscle rather than rolling around on the bone. Pick a spot somewhere on your shin. Again, you might start to flex your left foot, point your left foot, rotate through your ankle. Maybe you keep the foot relaxed and turn your knee deeply to one side, deeply to the other. Just feeling that roller grab onto the skin while you move it around on top of the muscle. If you start to feel like your tenderness or sensations are subsiding in the spot that you're working, pick another spot and do the same thing. Start to steamroll again through the whole line. From top to bottom, keep your hips low. And then come about mid-shin and set your hips off toward the left. Come upright, grab onto your roller and slide the right knee in. Extend your left leg out in front of you and extend your spine up tall. Take a breath. Exhale to hinge forward and start to windshield wiper your toes from side to side. Feel free to manually roll the roller using your hands downward and upward as you're exploring the side to side movement, just keeping it flowing and moving in a way that feels natural to you. And then drop your chin, drop your head, turn your toes and your torso over to the left and take a nice deep stretch there. Feel free to expand that back leg behind you for deeper sensation if that feels productive. And then turn those toes and the chest again over to the right, just exploring all the angles of your hamstring. Take one more breath. As you exhale, let yourself get really heavy and soft. And then peel your way back up. Lean into your left hand. Transition this back leg forward. Step it in front of you. Slide back so I don't get out of this frame. Walk your hands back in. Imagine making a straight line from your head out to your left toes. And go ahead and explore your IT band. Gliding the roller down toward the side of your knee and all the way back up again. See if you can keep your left foot dragging on the ground. Turn your toes down toward the ground to explore that outer diagonal line of your quadricep. Many of you know that really well, that vastus lateralis. Turn your toes up toward the sky to explore the outer edge of your hamstring. This is a really popular time for a soft, squishy roller. So again, if you don't have one at home, just pick a spot to find stillness and place like a nice plushy towel in between you and the roller so that it becomes a little softer. Fold it up. Let's find a spot together, somewhere on the side of the thigh that feels productive, challenging, but also tolerable. Take a breath, expand your lungs. Exhale, try to relax all the tension around your left kneecap. You might, if you're feeling really active today, let the left foot drag against the ground as you bend your left knee and extend back out. Start to finish up, gliding through, taking one last cycle of breath and really just letting the exhale ring out of you. Find your way down towards your knee with that roller. Turn onto your backside and drop back down to that place where the roller is just supporting your knees. Let's take that back stretch again. Can't get enough of it in this cold weather. Flex your feet, connect your chin to your chest, and drop yourself down into that deep spiral stretch. Let the back of your neck release and relax. Let gravity drip through the back of your skull. And if you need a little bit more help with that rounding sensation, grab onto the back of your skull, clasp your hands, and let your hands weigh your head down even more. Keep your feet deeply flexed and take a couple of breaths. See if you feel the stretch differently than you did before. Maybe your back is opened up a bit. Maybe it's moved somewhere into your calves or into your neck. Keep your chin connected to your chest as you roll your way back up to sitting. Move the roller underneath the top half of your calves. Take your hands to the ground behind you or lie all the way down on your back. Cross your right ankle on top of your left and start to bend and lengthen your leg. It's a small movement. As you bend, the roller comes down toward the middle of your calf, and as you straighten, it comes toward the top. Really just targeting these bubbly muscles at the top of your calf, the gastrocnemius, which always sounds like gastropub, which makes me want to go out and drink a beer in a crowded room. You might slide against your ground to pass through the entire calf. If you're on a yoga mat or something that's not slippery, then keep it choppy. Keep it at the top. Turn your toes one direction. Turn your toes another direction. Maybe pick a spot and start to flex and point and rotate your ankle. Glide that roller down to the bottom half of your calf. Create pressure by pressing your top ankle down into your bottom ankle. And then start to bend and straighten again, this time focusing more on that ropey Achilles tendon. Turn your toes in. Turn your toes out. Take another moment here to finish up through this calf. And then from wherever you are, roll onto your side. Find your way down on your left elbow. Slide the roller out a little farther in front of you so that your knees come forward, your legs come down. You're making a 90-degree angle here. You can certainly lie down on your side, but you might get a little more leverage up on your elbow as you straighten your legs and bend your knees, gliding the roller up and down the side of your lower leg. Get to know these peroneal muscles. They're kind of tender, they're kind of ropey. They like firm pressure. And then maybe rotate the left ankle, kind of pendulum swinging the leg from side to side. Feel how that changes the pressure. That's how you know that the movement that you're doing is what this muscle is responsible for. Maybe you mermaid fin your feet back and forth, giving this tissue some cross fiber friction. Take one more moment, one more spot. Inhale, exhale. And then work your way back up to sitting. Take your legs off of the roller, swing them around, and bring the roller back behind your shoulder blades. Clasp your hands together. Make a basket for your head to drop back into, and let your upper body just drape over the roller. Lift your hips and start to drag the roller all the way up in towards your neck, all the way back down to the middle of your ribs. Inhale as the roller comes up, expanding through the back of your ribs. Exhale as it squeegees down your spine. there's any one spot that feels a little bit stuck, stay there, set your hips down, and give your spine a stretch while you're pinning it down by pressing your hands forward, forcing your chin towards your chest, and releasing back over again. The next time the roller comes across your shoulder blades, set your hips down, rock onto your right side, and connect that roller in where your shoulder blade and your arm meet. It's like a nestled place that was meant for a roller. Let your right elbow come onto the ground, head in your hand, and then just extend your rib cage down toward the ground as much as you can. Start to rock yourself open across the back of the shoulder blade and forward into the edge of the shoulder blade, edge of the armpit. Good. For more sensation, guys, on the back of this rotator cuff, wrap your top arm around, pick up your wrist, and cradle your head and your upper arm bone. As you pull the elbow away from the ground, you'll increase the stretch in your rotator cuff while you're pinning it down. Maybe you add some downward and upward movement. Good, and then find a spot. Somewhere on the back of the arm that feels important and significant to you. Take a breath, expand your shoulders wide into the roller. Exhale to soften. Extend your right arm long, rest your head on top of it, and stretch your legs out. Glide yourself down against the ground to start to cruise the roller up into your elbow, across your tricep, and back down into the shoulder blade. Now, as you're rolling through the tricep here, if you flip your palm upward versus flipping your palm downward, you'll feel that you're having a different experience in each one of those places. Find the line that feels the most productive for you, and then find a spot within that line. And when you get there, settle your rib cage down toward the ground as much as it can go, and extend your top leg straight. And reach that top leg behind you and let it drop down into gravity. It might not touch the ground. That's okay. If this feels too intense in your low back, too intense of pressure on your arm, you can take those knees right back together again. But extend your top leg out, inhale and exhale down into it. Maybe even take your upper arm overhead to give yourself a nice big waistline, low back, and psoas stretch. You're on the left side. Maybe you bend this right elbow. Extend it back out again. Maybe you rock yourself open, sweep your toes back. Maybe you rock yourself forward, sweep your toes forward. Find different iterations of this position that feel productive in your tricep and in the stretch in the top of the body. Lying on your side is like a big part of what we do in rolling class. So if you feel like you're getting bony and there's not enough padding for you, create some. Put some blankets underneath you, underneath your hips to help support. When you are ready, bend the top knee, plant your feet into the ground and start to glide the roller all the way up into the shoulder blade again. And then take your elbow back into the ground, head back into your hand, and bring your top knee in front of you on the ground. Slide your bottom leg straight and turn towards your roller. Bring your left arm to hug the front of your roller. Open up your right palm and rest your forehead down inside of your palm. You want the roller to be pressing into the right side of your chest, above your breast tissue, below your collarbone. Take a breath here and exhale to relax all your weight into this place. For more intensity, soften your chin down on the roller, soften your arm down on the floor. For maximum intensity, switch your roller out for your pinky ball or your tennis ball, placing that pinky ball or tennis ball underneath the right side of your chest. You have some options here. Wherever you are, start to shift your chest from side to side, just wrapping the pressure from your sternum out to the side of your chest. The pecs are kind of like the feet. The longer you stay on the pecs, the more you will start to feel. If you're feeling any sensations that are referring into other places, like into the back of your rib cage or down your arm or into the other side of your chest, that's all really normal. Just notice what you're feeling and let's breathe into it. Take a nice big breath. Expand your rib cage into the pressure. And exhale to let that pressure absorb back into you. Take another couple cycles of breath, maybe changing your angles in your pec to see if you can find something different, more interesting. The roller can come down above your breast tissue or up below your collarbone. And then when you're ready, and maybe you're not yet, maybe not for a little while, rock yourself back open onto your side. Rock yourself back open onto your back. Clasp your hands back together behind your head. Hold your head as you cruise the roller all the way up and all the way back down. Let your elbows splay away from each other and see if you can feel a difference from how the right shoulder is hanging versus how the left shoulder is hanging. Find your shoulder blades again. Set your hips down and rock onto your left side now. Bring your left elbow into the ground. Hold your head with your hand. And start to rock all the way open. Let the roller wrap around your shoulder blade. All the way back in. Let the roller wrap into the side of your armpit, outer edge. For more sensation, wrap your top arm around, pick up your bottom wrist, and just cradle your head in your upper arm bone. You might change your movement, gliding downward and upward. Find a spot, something that feels important and sensational, and let's breathe there. Expand your left shoulder down into the roller as you breathe. Exhale, let the roller soak into you. Extend your top arm out. Let your head rest on your arm. And then stretch your legs straight and start to glide the roller all the way up your tricep towards your elbow, all the way back down towards your shoulder blade. Rotate through the palm and see what line feels the best for you. See what feels the most important. And then when you find a spot, let's stay there. Nestle your rib cage close to the ground. Maybe straighten your top leg. Inhale, reach out through the toes. Exhale to lower the leg down into gravity. If that stretch doesn't feel productive in your low back or your waistline on this right side, there's no need to add it. You can keep your knees soft on top of each other. We'll shift our focus to the tricep. Bend through the elbow. Extend back out. Maybe rotate through the wrist. Maybe rock yourself open, drawing the toes backward a little bit. Rock yourself forward, drawing the toes forward a little bit. Find the stretch, if you are including this stretch in your waistline, that feels the most productive. Take a deep breath here. Exhale to soften. And then bend your top knee and start to glide the roller back to your shoulder blade. Return your elbow to the ground, return your head to your hand, and bring your top knee in front of you on the ground. Slide your bottom leg straight. Rotate yourself forward and let the roller connect to the left side of your chest. Hug the roller with your top or with your right arm and open up your left palm to rest your forehead inside of it. And start to shift your chest from side to side. If you want more intensity, soften your chin on top of the roller, soften your hand on top of the ground, or maybe maximum intensity, switch the roller out for a pinky ball or a tennis ball underneath the left side of your pec. You're above your breast tissue and below your collarbone, and as you shift from side to side, the roller comes towards your sternum and back to the outer edge of your rib cage. Find a spot somewhere in this place and let's rest. Relax your left arm. Sink all your body weight into the pressure and breathe into your chest. Expand your ribs into the roller. Exhale, let the roller press back in towards you. Take another few cycles of breath. At the end of every exhale, maybe shifting slightly to a different position, staying in the one that feels the most important for you. When you are ready, if you are ready, slowly roll yourself back onto your side. Let the roller wrap around that top of your rib cage. Bring yourself back onto your backside. Clasp your hands and let yourself glide through your upper back again. Let the elbows once again splay away from each other. See where they're hanging in relation to one another. And then bring the roller down behind your neck like a neck pillow. Rest your hips and your back on the ground. And start to figure eight your head from side to side. Turning your head deeply from one side to the other and arcing the back of your skull over the back of the roller. Turn your head to one side. It doesn't matter which one. Come onto your side and just nestle the roller underneath the side of your neck. Just let it hang for a second there. Hug the roller into the curvature of your neck. Let the back of your head just drape over the back of the roller. Let your lips part, let your mouth relax, and take a couple of breaths. Every time you exhale, allowing that roller to soak into the side of your neck. A little bit more. Scoot your roller up to the side of your jaw. Bring the edge of the roller right back next to your nose and start to open and close your jaw. That your nose is kind of hanging off the front of the roller and the jaw is resting on the side of the roller. Nod your head. Make circles with your nose. Any kind of movement on the side of your jaw that feels productive for you. And then find a place to rest. Take a breath. And exhale, let your head be soft. Your mouth be soft. Just like you did before, bring the top knee on the ground out in front of you and the bottom leg slides straight. And then take that bottom arm out from underneath you so that you can roll onto your front side. You can let the bottom arm just rest over the roller. And bring the edge of the roller right on the front of your cheek so that your nose just clears that flat end of your roller. Relax your mouth. Release your tongue. And make subtle movements. Your head going side to side or up and down, or maybe opening and closing your mouth. You're targeting the very front of your cheekbone, right there, and the muscles that attach right below it. You might just find stillness on top of that pressure. Take a breath. Exhale, attempt to release all the weight of your head into this spot. And then scoot the roller right on top of your eyebrow. Tuck that bottom arm underneath you again and roll onto your side again. And explore the side of your head. Rocking your eyebrow down into the roller. Rocking the roller into the side of your skull and into the back of your skull. Find your favorite place on that top shelf of your head. Let your body become soft and heavy and take a nice big breath. Exhale, release. Scoot your roller back underneath your neck. Roll back onto your back side. And take that figure 8 movement again from side to side, arcing the back of your skull over the back of your roller. When you're ready, turn onto your other side. Bring that roller underneath the curvature of your neck and just release all the weight of your head over the other side of it. Take a breath. Exhale, let the roller absorb into the layers in the side of your neck. Release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. And scoot the roller up so that the side of your jaw rests on it, and then bring that edge of your roller right back to the edge of your jaw so that your nose just hangs off the front of your roller. Start to nod that head. Up and down, open and close your jaw. Any movements that feel productive on the side of your jaw. And then find some stillness. Let your lips part, let your mouth drop open, and take a breath. Bring your top knee out on the ground in front of you. Slide your bottom leg straight. Now unwind the arm out from underneath you and let it drape over the top of your roller as you rock onto your front side. And let the edge of that roller find the very front of your cheekbone, right next to your nose. Nod your head. Rock your head from side to side. Take a breath here. Exhale, absorb the pressure. Glide that roller up onto your eyebrow, then roll back onto your side. Let the roller explore that side of your head, rocking your nose toward the sky to take it behind your head, rocking down. Let's find one place together. Find some stillness. Take a nice big inhale, and as you exhale, become heavy and surrender. Keep the roller right where it is as you rock onto your back and grab onto the roller. On either end of it, let the roller stay on the back of your skull. Start to nod your head up and down, rolling that roller into the back of your skull. Keep your head nodding up and turn your head from side to side, working through the muscles and joints in the back of your skull. Feel free to stay on any one spot and just take a breath there. What's really cool is when you're working in the skull and you feel a referral down to your neck. It's an indication that maybe some of your neck tension isn't in your neck. Release the roller out from underneath your head, guys. Let your head release onto the ground. Your arms can fold over your chest or maybe come out to a goal post if you want to feel nice and open. Do anything that's comfortable with your legs and your feet. Take a nice big breath. Expand your belly and your ribs up to the sky. And exhale. Let gravity just drop you down. Take an inhale to expand your ribs down into the ground. Connect them deeply. And exhale. Just let them weightlessly stay connected. One more time to inhale. Expand through all sides of your ribs. Exhale. Soften back down. Thank you so much for joining me for this roll today, guys. Stay safe, and I will see you next time.